Okay, so finally, the AMC theaters are back open. Dude, I could have cried. One, because, I wanted to make this a whole thing, the first day back with popcorn and butter. But I don't know if anyone does this in the theaters outside of Illinois, but they have the dispensers weren't working, or they just didn't want to do it. And so they had little containers for butter. And I don't excessively put butter on my popcorn where there's a pool underneath once I'm done. But I also like to put, a medium balanced amount, not too little, not too much. There's usually too much popcorn overlapping. Dump it out a little bit, put some butter in, with the button, which is just satisfying for whatever reason. It almost feels like the butter is a hologram when it comes out. I don't know if that makes sense to any of you, like, that have experienced that, but that's what I feel like. I just do it in for a little bit, boom, all right, cool, shake it up a little bit, of course, then do it again for a nice little layer on top. Nice lighter shake the second time. Perfect, beautiful. But I could have cried that they had the containers. It's criminal. And then I had to go with nachos. Went with nachos, and then these chocolate covered almonds that I get every time I go, because they're just great. And the second time I could have cried, because when I was just sitting in the theater, I was just like, I felt at home. It was amazing. And then I saw the little things, and I could have cried. But I stuck through it. And so yeah, let's go ahead and let's talk about it.
You knew him, didn't you? Then you had that one little feeling. But you waved it away. You should have listened to that one little feeling. Just like I'm listening to you now. You can talk to me. I'm all a friend you got.
You're not exactly a department favorite.
Things probably changed a lot since you left.
So The Little Things is a January film that was released in January. If you don't understand what I'm saying, because you're like, yeah. What I mean is, January is statistically like the worst month every year for theater, just because the year just ended, so you don't put out a film that you want an Oscar buzz for in the first month of the year. Everyone's going back to school because winter break is over. People don't really want to go to the theaters now because they're back in school. There's a lot of reasons. I was hoping that this film just came out in January due to COVID, so they pushed it to January, but no. After watching it, I firmly believe this was meant for January. If you don't know what The Little Things is, a simple synopsis is it's a crime thriller where there's a serial killer, and then there's investigators trying to catch the serial killer and solve the crimes. You got Rami Malek as the head detective, head investigator at the LAPD or some police department in LA. And then you have Denzel Washington, who's a police deputy who used to be the head investigator of that years ago, and then something happened and he left, and he was only supposed to come there at that moment in time for less than 24 hours, but ended up staying there for just the whole thing. And we have Jared Leto as the prime suspect. This film feels like a Hallmark movie or something that's straight to DVD. It's not. The editing is just poor. There's a scene where they're in a bar and the transition is like he's saying like, why this, why that? Because Denzel Washington is this incredible investigator that Rami Malek has never met but has heard a lot about, and didn't really see anything that made me go like, wow, what an investigator he was. And then he's like, why this, why that, why this, why that? And then he says it one more time, like, well, why this? And then it fades into the next scene immediately after he asks the question. Nothing else is said. It just immediately fades and music starts playing. And I just thought, wow, that was corny. There's just no investigation really in this film. It's really just like pursuing Jared Leto just because they have a hunch, and you know, they make it. It's just Jared Leto, I guess, in the eyes of the average human, if you looked at him, you'd be like, he's probably killed a couple dudes in his time, I'm sure. That's really what they're going off of. They're like the average guy, like he looks like he would. So let's camp out his house and let's just watch him forever. And that's what this was. There was no investigation. This film itself was an assumption. There was many predictable parts, and then the parts that weren't predictable were just like, why? Performance-wise, Denzel Washington gave a performance. Then we have Rami Malek, where his jaw was stronger than his own performance. And then we have Jared Leto, which, if I were to say anything good about this, it's Jared Leto. I thought he was great. His material was, like, he did what he could, but he definitely played the Joker that I'm sure he wanted to play in Suicide Squad. He got to do that here. When he was on screen, I enjoyed it for his acting. There was a scene, an interrogation scene, and, you know, they drop these pictures in front of him, and I'm pretty sure they were just waiting. They might have been improvising and just waiting for him to finish looking at the photos. And I'm just like, what's happening here? The first half of the film was just all cuts from scene to scene, and you're just like, I'm not really sure what we're doing. And then you get to where they're sitting still in this interrogation room, and you're like, I'm not really sure what we're doing. This was not it. The ending, nothing was cleared up. It's so unsatisfying. There's no way a Snickers could satisfy. There's no way. And that's tough to say. It's tough to have those words come out of my mouth, but it's true. It's so unsatisfying. Out of 10, I'm going to go with a 3. 3, because Jared Leto did well. Other than that, you know, there's another film that I saw a trailer to called Palmer with Justin Timberlake that looks like that could be a nice Oscar performance from him, and was supposed to come out today, but I can't really find it anywhere. So I would definitely take my chances on that if you find it. I just recently found out that there's a new, like, I don't know what it really is, but kind of film, I guess, with Steve-O called Gnarly. It's kind of like Jackass with him, but he's sober this time. Maybe watch that. But don't watch this. It's also on HBO Max if you really want to watch it. But then I hope you come back here and leave a comment and go, should have listened. I'm sorry. And I'll accept your apology. But it better not happen again. I'll just say that now. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say. This has been running on forever. And I hope you guys have a good one.